All right, so once you have corrected your original cell, then you are ready to build your pattern. So the first thing you're going to do is open Photoshop if it's not already open, and then you need to open your file, your original cell. So you come up to File, hit Open, find your cell. There we go. Boom. The next thing we need to do is size it so that it is the right size for your pattern. And I know that I want this little guy to repeat 3 times across the width of my page, and I know that my page is only 11 inches wide. So if my math is correct, it means that this image can be 3.66 inches wide. So in order to size it, I come up to Image, and I hit Image Size, and then I come over here and type in the size that I want, 3.66. That automatically does the other direction for me, and we're good to go. Okay, the next thing I need to do is define this as a pattern. So to do so, I select all, which is Command A. You can see that it's selected. And then I come up to Edit, and I scroll down to Define Pattern. You can name it something different if you want to. I'm just going to keep the file name. So hit OK. And now we've defined it as a pattern. So the next thing we need to do is actually create a document that's going to be our wrapping paper. So we come up to File, hit New, name it whatever you want to name your wrapping paper, and then the format is 11 inches wide by 17 inches tall and 300 dpi, and that looks good. I'm going to leave my background white, so that's all fine. And there we go. Then what we have to do is create a fill layer. So we're going to populate the fill layer. We're going to fill it essentially with that pattern that we just defined. So we come up to Layer, and then we scroll down to New Fill Layer, and then over to Pattern. You can name it if you want to. You can leave it the default. It doesn't really matter. That looks good. And then you can see it fills it. So there's my whole pattern repeated. It's super great. What you might find is that another pattern might pop up. So this is the menu with all of the preset patterns. So if you get something that looks weird, you just click on this, and then you can go through and pick the correct one, which is our latest one. So there we go. There is our pattern. What I want to do now is position this so that it's equally cropped on the top and the bottom. I just feel like it would look more purposeful that way. So I make sure that I've selected the Move tool, and then I drag it to where it looks like it's basically equal, top and bottom, right and left. That looks pretty good. When you're satisfied with that, you just hit Return or Enter, and now that's set. So I'm going to zoom in and just take a look at the pattern close up, and there's a couple of things that kind of bother me about it. One of them is the little dot that I didn't design, so that's just kind of a little bit of digital garbage there. I think I'm going to get rid of that. And then the other thing is this, if you can see, there's a slight value difference from one side of the cell to the other. So I'm going to get rid of that too, and both things are very easy. So the first thing I'm going to do is use just the regular eraser tool. I'll come over here to the left and select Eraser Tool, and I'm going to click through, and it's going to tell me I have to rasterize it. That's fine. So I'm going to click all these little dots in the centers of the little kitty heads. Bear with me. I certainly could make my brush bigger, but I like the challenge of having to perfectly get it. All right, so that's more like what I wanted, what I designed for. Some accidents are happy accidents that like look better than what you actually planned for, and then some accidents are just accidents. Maybe if I made these marks a little bit bigger, where they seemed more purposeful, and made them a nice color or something, I would like that more. So I'm going to zoom out. So now all I want to get rid of is the slight value difference that I'm seeing from one side of the cell to the other. So the easiest way to do that is to come over here to the eraser tool again, hold it down, hold your cursor down or your mouse, whatever, and then select Magic Eraser Tool. And now I'm going to click on the white, and you see how it gets rid of that value gradient? So I'll undo that, Command Z, just to show you that's without it, without the Magic Eraser Tool, and that's with it. And I think I like it better, for sure. So now I think we're ready to go. I can zoom in again, move the image around, make sure that I'm totally happy with it. Sometimes what will happen is you'll print one and then you might notice something in print that you didn't before, in Photoshop. So that's no big deal. You've got your Photoshop document, so you can always go back and make changes. So make sure that you save that, save the document itself. But what we're going to do to print this is to save it as a JPEG. So in order to do that, I'm going to hit Command S. And then I'm going to select, in the format, it's going to be a JPEG. And I want to make sure I know where I'm saving it, obviously. And then when I'm ready, click Save. It'll confirm the quality that I want. And now we are good to go. So I'm ready to print this. So when you are ready to print it, make sure that you email it to yourself or that you drag and drop it onto your USB drive and bring that with you. And we should get some really nice prints. So have fun with this. I can't wait to see what you make. Take care.